A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back in the 40 plus in the JFAC. It is the semi finals, the one that was supposed to be played before. Here we go, ball number one, and an excellent delivery to start off. Very close to finding the outside edge. Beautifully bowled, right first up, straight away on the money. Well, the news from the centre during the toss was that the JBC and Avengers won it and they elected to bat first, wanting to put runs on the board and apply some pressure on the opposition. Well, that is what Rebu wanted to do, and that is what he has done. Although, has it found the outside edge meanwhile? Well, it's a big appeal. The umpire says no. Well, it looked very close. Another beautiful delivery. He's getting a lot of outswing out there. Bowling it away from the batter. Well, this is an amazing start. This time tucked away on the leg side and a single taken. Well, this time charging down the wicket, and well, once again an appeal for a caught behind. This has been an absolutely fantastic over first up. Well, two more deliveries left in this first, and this time a bit too wide from the batter, and he just leaves that one alone. So one more delivery coming up now in this first over. And Rebu yet to get off the mark here. Meanwhile, Anas is off the mark. He took three deliveries for it. Absolutely superb by Dilesh. First up, a couple of slips in place, but this time he connects. And what a good stroke that is! An excellent cover drive to close out the first over. This is brilliant batting by Rebu, the captain leading from the front. And well, at the end of the first over, now it is 5 without a wicket. Well, Charlene Gupta is continuing now in the second over. Well, once again, beautifully bowled, and they have been continuing to bowl that fifth stump line out here. And the JBC and Avengers, just the two scoring shots so far, that single and that boundary from both the openers to get off the mark, Anas and Ribu. Well, another beautiful delivery. Well, once again driven, and they get across for a quick single. Well, it has been an outstanding over, and it continues to be. Well, that is now the end of the second. Just the one run coming of this Charlene Gupta over. It is 6 without a wicket. Well, Dilesh is continuing, and once again beautifully bowled. Well, keeping things extremely tight here and applying a lot of pressure. The rising stars. Well, this time just skidding through the surface, beautifully bowled. But this has been excellent. 6 runs on the board after 2.2 overs. 11 of those deliveries have been dots. 11 out of 14. The dot count is extremely high at the moment. And once again, this time the wicketkeeper not quite able to collect it well. It has hit him and it's gone pretty far. And they come back for the second. No one out there as well. Behind square on the leg side, a big gap between the wicketkeeper and the mid-wicket fielder. An interesting field choice. The two fielders outside the inner ring are the ones at third man and deep backward point. Once again, just pushed on the offside, and this time could be a chance of a run out. Well, didn't quite collect it at the first go, so a single taken once again. And this time he charges down. My word, what a hit! Where has that one come from? Excellent hit by Rebu. It's gone out of here. Well, slightly short, and he just came down walking down the track as if he knew that where it would be pitched. Well, such is the amount of time that he had on that one. That is how he made it look. Never an easy shot through the offside for a maximum, and he's got up plenty of it. He's cleared it by some distance too. And the first six of the semi-final. Well, once again, just pushed on the offside and a single taken. So that is now the end of the third over with a score at 16 without a wicket for the JBC and Avengers. Well, we continue now in this fourth over. That's a wild swing and a miss. Very early into that shot. That time it was a bit slower. And well, Shalin Gupta cannot believe it. How has he not got the opening wicket? Well, still threatening to take the opening wicket. Meanwhile, picked up on the leg side. No one out there. Will that go all the way? Yes, it does. Second six of the innings. This is brilliant batting. Well, good attacking move out here by Rebu. And he's cruising at the moment, Rebu. Well, it was a slow start to the JBC and Avengers innings, but these two are now going along nicely, especially Rebu, who has moved on to 17 of just 9 deliveries with those couple of hits. Well, he is making them count. Still inside this power play, just the 3.2 overs in. And this time through the offside chance and just over the fielder. That's gone away for a maximum as well. Back-to-back sixes for Rebu. Well, the captain is really leading from the front and he's turning the heat on. Brilliant ball striking. And that's a swing and a miss. Well, wanting to get a hat trick of sixes, misses out completely on that one. Well, once again smashed. Well, he's hit one through the offside, the other one through the leg side, and has that one gone all the way? Well, not quite so, says the umpire. It's gone away for a boundary, just short of the maximum, but he is hitting it on all regions in this round. And once again through the gap. That is another boundary. What a big over this is turning out to be. 2 6s and 2 4s. This is brilliant piece of batting. Well, for the first 3 overs, they got their eye in, and now they are getting those boundaries in. At the end of the fourth, it is 36 without a wicket for the JBC and Avengers. Well, Dilesh continuing, he is bowling his third consecutive over. Well, the last over would make you feel that both these batters are now set, especially Rebu. Well, Anas is still on just 3 runs of 12 deliveries, and now the wicketkeeper is up at the stumps. And wanting to cut that one away, beautifully bowled. Once again guided towards the third man region and takes another single. Well, this time nicely defended. Well, Dilesh is trying to keep things tight once again, trying to pull things back after that previous over, that massive over where two sixes and two fours came in. This over has conceded just the one run. And Ribu is eyeing for more boundaries inside this power play. 31 of 14 at the moment. Well, this time it struck the pad and definitely going down the leg side. They get across for a leg by. Well, once again, a very good delivery. And, well, in fact, the appeal was for the stumping and the umpire said no, but congratulating the bowler in the end. Well, that was excellent glove work. Nonetheless, that's the end of the fifth. Just the one run coming off it. In fact, two runs, one in terms of a leg by 38 without a wicket. Right then, the last over of this power play now. And once again, Rebu will look this as an opportunity for himself. Well, there is going to be a change in the bowling. Shalin conceded a plenty of his captain's liking. So now continuing its spin, and that's an excellent googly to start off. Beautifully bowled, quicker through the air and flatter on the surface as well. Well, we always talk about the batters settling in. It's very important for the bowlers to settle in as well, especially inside the power play. When they're bowling with that new ball, this time a wide given by the umpire down the leg side. So an extra run. Well, once again just guided and they get across for a quick single. Right, and Tejas is trying to keep things tight, not allowing those easy boundaries in. Well, once again, a big appeal, with the umpire just not interested at all. Once again, a good sound of the bat and hit hard towards the fielder at mid-on. Well, another very good delivery. So the last ball of this power play, it's in the air and it's gone all the way. Another youth six. Once again, Reboot through that offside. Well, he favors that area, doesn't he? That's his third six in that region. And that is the end of the power play with the score at 47 without a wicket. Well, once again, a big appeal. We continue now after the end of the power play, and it's Harshang Parik who is continuing. Well, once again, cut away, a nice looking shot, and good piece of fielding out there in the deep. So that single brings out the 50 now for the JBC and Avengers, in a decent enough position at the moment. And once again in the air, this could be a chance. This could be the first wicket, and he's taken it. What a good catch! Brilliant! And that's the big wicket of Brihu. He was smashing the ball around, and he departs here for 39. Well, this time not quite able to get the middle of the bat. It went straight up in the air and almost carrying the distance, but not enough. And the fielder at long off gets underneath it, and it is 50 for 1 now. Well, in comes Karthik at number 3. And once again just pushed on the offside. So a single take it, that is 51 for 1 now. Well, Tejas continuing, and once again just pushed on the offside. Well, the boundaries have dried up ever since the end of the power play, as you would expect, and they are in a decent position now. Are the rising stars, they would feel, because at one stage it looked as if with all 10 wickets intact, Rebu firing, it would be difficult to restrict them. But now they have got themselves very much back in it, as Anas is back on strike. And Anas has missed out completely very early into that shot, and the ball goes on and hit the leg stump. And Anas departs here. Well, it's a very sorry looking innings in the end for Anas. He has scored just the 6 runs of 20 deliveries, would you believe it? And he has left his side in a small little hole at the moment. It is 52 for 2 now after 7.2. Well, once again hit hard along the surface. So the new man in is Hayden, coming in here at number 4, and he needs to do a job for his side. Two new batters at the crease. Opportunity for the Rising Stars to try and restrict the opposition once again. Can they get another 2 to 3 overs where they don't concede too many boundaries, maybe only one odd, which will apply a lot of pressure? Another big swing and a miss. You can see and that they're feeling the pressure now, the JBC and Avengers. This time cut away and in the gap. That's an excellent shot. So the first boundary for Karthik. Beautiful timing and placement behind square and right in between the fielders at backward point and short third. So now one more delivery left in this 8th over. And he pushes it on the leg side. Another dot to end it at the end of the 8th. It's 57 for 2. Well, we continue now in this 9th over. And Harshank Parekh continuing, who got the opening breakthrough of this innings. Once again, a superb delivery. Well, it seems like he's bowling on a different pitch out there, Harshank. Once again, just pushed on the leg side. Well, what an outstanding over it has been so far. Just the one run of it. And the Rising Stars will be very happy with the performance that they are putting out here. Once again, nothing more than a single down the ground at long off. Well, two more deliveries left now in this ninth over. And picked up on the offside and behind square. That will run away to the fence. Well, a bit fortuitous, you would feel. Not quite very intended. But a boundary nonetheless, and a much needed one once again for the JBC and Avengers. Well, once again in the air and won't quite carry to the fielder at long on. A couple of bounces before he collects it. Well, at the end of the ninth, it is 64 for 2. Well, another change in the bowling. It's going to be Nikunj to continue, the left arm spinner, and he will try to use the angle up against the right handed batters. Well, a big swing and a miss. And this time a cross batted shot down the ground. A bit Harry Brook like, you would feel. Single taken. Once again, just pushed on the offside. Chance of a run out. Well, a direct hit was required. The throw wasn't quite on target. Once again, wanting to cut that one away. Beautifully bowled. Once again in the air. Won't quite carry to the fielder. It's a couple of bounces. And surprisingly, they did not take any single. No run on that one. That is a bit surprising. And, well, he was ball watching for a moment. Here and out there. He was disappointed that he didn't quite get the connection. This time he takes that single. So that is now the end of the 10th over. The score is 67 for 2 for the JBC and Avengers. And the umpires will call for drinks. Well, Harshrang continuing now out, and the change of sides, 67 for 2. The JBC and Avengers thick outside edge, chance taken. Brilliant catch. Well, it was towards his left, a reflex catch in the end. Satya, the man, taking it. And how often do we see a wicket after the drinks break? We have seen another one. They are 3 down now, 67 for 3 after 10.2. And in some trouble now are the JBC and Avengers. Well, Ajay has come in here at number 5. A nice looking shot, but only a single. Out there in the deep. Good piece of fielding once again. This time cut away, and there is protection out there. Well, the fielder is set perfectly for that. Once again, only a single. Well, once again pushed on the offside. Well, 70 for 3 now after 11 overs. Well, Nikunj is the bowler now. Once again, cut away. Well, an appeal for a stumping, but the umpire says no. Well, once again, a very good delivery. This has been an outstanding over by Nikunj. Just the 3 runs of it so far. And now one more delivery left in this 12th over. And once again pushed on the offside, and it's gone straight to the fielder. So that is now the end of the 12th. It's 73 for 3. Well, continuing with spin, and Harshang is into his final over. Harshang Parekh, 3.1 overs, 2 for 13. He's been absolutely superb. Ajay is on strike. He's on 4 of 6 deliveries, partnered with Karthik, who's on 10 of 15. And at the moment, the JBC and Avengers are only going at 6 and over. Another wild swing and a miss. That's another dot. Harshang Parekh, he's bowling beautifully. Well, after watching all the first 12 overs, it feels as if Reeve was batting on a different pitch out there, because he was smashing the ball with such ease, and the other batters, well, they're all struggling. This has been top quality bowling by the Rising Stars. Once again, cut away and straight to the fielder out there in the deep. And another catch taken. Another one gone. Third one for Parekh. Well, he's turned the heat on in the semi-final, and they are cruising now. Are the Rising Stars. Well, once again, in need of maximum, in need of runs, they just end up perishing. And another man goes. Karthik, the man who departs for 10, 74 for 4, in big trouble now, the JBC and Avengers. Well, Sorish is the man who has come in here at number 6, and now it is the left hand right hand combination. One more delivery left in this 13th over. Coming around the wicket to the left hander Harshank Parekh, and once again in the air, chance, 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 chance. Can he get underneath it? He can't, and they take only the single. Well, an excellent spell by Harshank Parekh comes to an end. 4 overs, 3 for 15 for him. He's been totally superb, and shout out maybe for being the most economical bowler of the match too. It's 75 for 4 now at the end of the 13th. Well, Nikunj is continuing now. He is into his third, 2 overs, none for 6. It has been an absolutely outstanding spell. When we talk about batting partnerships, this is a bowling partnership to have a look at. Parekh and, well, in fact, it's Hiren Nirmal now, the captain himself. But Nikunj has been superb nonetheless. Take nothing away from it. 2 overs, none for 6, and the partnership, the bowling partnership between Nikunj and Parekh was a superb one. A couple of dots now for Hiren Nirmal, and Sorish is not quite able to get away. Well, this time he goes big, but once again on the bounce towards the fielder. Well, once again, just pushing it for a single. This time left alone and given as a wide by the umpire. and that one will go away for a six. For a moment, the fielder felt that he was in play, but that is a much needed six. Well, once again in the air and only a single. Right then, 85 for 4 now after 14.1. Nikunj continuing. Well, they get the overthrow as well. And they will not be happy there, the Rising Stars. Nonetheless, 86 for 4 at the moment. Well, another big appeal and given by the umpire. And the JBCN Avengers have now lost half their side. Well, Nikunj has deserved this. He's been extremely economical, and now finally he is amongst the wickets. Well, trying to play it across, shuffling across the crease, and in the end just ends up giving away his wicket. The left-hander Sorish Khan, 87 for 5, and this innings at the moment heading nowhere. This is excellent piece of bowling by Nikunj. Once again, just pushed on the offside and a slight misfield. Well, there are three fielders behind square on the offside, saving that boundary, and all of those are inside the circle. Apart from that, there's a sweeper on the offside out there in the deep, along with that long off, and a cover inside the circle. Nonetheless, that is the end of the 15th. Now 88 for 5 for the JBC and Avengers. Right, then Parag is continuing in the 16th. Once again hit hard. It's Alap who has come in. Plays it down the ground for a single. Well, no boundaries yet. It's been a while since we have seen one. We saw that 1-6 which went through the fielder, right through his hands. But other than that, there's been nothing from the JBC and Avengers. And they will not mind even singles at all at this stage of the game, the Rising Stars. They are doing an excellent job with the ball. Once again, it's that one hard. Back at the bowler. Once again, charging down the wicket in the air, won't quite carry to the fielder. Only a single on the bounce. Well, what an outstanding over once again. This time it's Parag, just the two of it so far. It just keeps on getting better and better out here for them. And once again, wanting to go through the leg side, beautifully bowled. That's an exceptional over. Parag comes to an end, just the two of it. It is 90 for 5 now after 16. Struggling the JBC and Avengers. And now the sweet connection of the bat at the start of the 17th over, a much needed maximum. An excellent shot down the ground to carry maybe some momentum into the final stages of the innings from here on now. Another beautiful delivery, a good comeback this by Nikunj. Well, he's been very economical. Apart from that 6, he had given away just 10 runs in his first 3, and he will be wanting to rectify that 6 that he's conceded. And now behind square, well, there's no one out there that is going to find the fence quite comfortably. 10 runs, well, that will bring up the 100. 10 runs in the last 3 deliveries. It's 100 for 5 now after 16.3 overs. And all of a sudden, some momentum. Well, once again, just pushed on the offside for a single. Well, they won't mind the singles, the rising stars, but the damage has been done in this over. Once again, hits it hard and only a single. So 13 runs coming off the last Nikunj over. He has ended up his spell at 23 for 1 in his 4. Well, he gave away just 10 in his first 3, and now he's even 13 in his last. Nonetheless, it's 103 for 5 after 17, and really trying to push on now the JBC and Avengers. Well, Tejas continuing now in this 18th over. That's a swing and a miss. Well, that is 4 consecutive dots now by Tejas. This is absolutely superb. We are in the 18th over. And now he picks it up on the leg side. Has he found the distance? Yes, he has. Well, a much needed 6 by Ajay. Well, 4 consecutive dot deliveries. Something had to give in, and that is the maximum that they were craving for. This time charging down the wicket, and it's a stumping. He's gone. Well, he wanted to go for another one, and it was required. That is the need of the hour. But in the process, just throws his wicket away. It was a bit frustrating out there now for the JBC and Avengers. It's 109 for 6 after 18, with 2 more overs left. How many more can they add on from here on? Well, Dilesh, the man continuing in the penultimate over of the innings. And once again, another dot delivery. Well, two consecutive dots now. Well, we have seen the last 8 deliveries, only one of them a scoring shot, and that was a 6. And after that, we saw a wicket. So, in the last 8 deliveries, we have seen 7 dots. And that is absolutely something that they cannot afford in the semi final here, the JBC and Avengers. Rayad is the new man in, he is at the non strikers end, and he knows the importance out here at the Khalsa cricket ground on how important it is to try and get a good total, because we have those short boundaries. The ground is slightly asymmetrical, you would feel. Maybe one side is slightly bigger than the other, but both the sides are pretty short, you must say. If you connect, you can really hit them long. Once again, cut away, and that's in the gap. That's an excellent shot. That is beautifully played. Well, we have seen some sixes today, but that one for me is the shot of this evening. That is absolutely superb by Alap. Well, in the end, he has the last laugh, the bowler. It's Dilesh who gets the wicket number 7 of the JBC and Avengers. And now it's 113 for 7. Right then, two new batters at the crease who are yet to face a delivery, and just 8 more deliveries left in the innings. It's 113 for 7. Deepan at number 9, and Deepan has played that one down the ground. Well, that's gone away to the fence. The fielder not quite able to start it, and well, that's an excellent way to start your innings. And once again, you must save 4 more needed runs for the JBC and Avengers as they try to push on. Well, they have 7 more deliveries left. Can they try and get somewhere around 18 to 20 from here on? If they manage to do that, it will be then something to bowl at for the bowlers. Other than that, it's looking very difficult for them from here on. The Rising Stars will be the happier of the two, of course. Last delivery of this 19th, and that's gone over the stumps. Won't be given as a wide. So that's the end of the 19th. It's 117 for 7. Well, Shalin Gupta will bowl this last over, 3 overs, none for 21. And Rayad hits that one straight down the ground. That's an excellent straight drive. but won't quite find the boundary. That's only a single. Once again, nicely fielded. 5 more deliveries left now in this innings. This time he struck the pad, big appeal, and the umpire says no. Well, he's pleading for it, the bowler Shalin Gupta. That one looked very close. Well, the wicketkeeper wants to take the review, but we of course don't have that review system. Well, that one looked very close. Well, given as a leg by the umpire. 4 more deliveries left. Rayad on strike, and Rayad Merchant plays it towards that cow corner region for a single. More like a long on rather than a cow corner. Well, no boundaries yet in this last over. 120 for 7. And this time the awkward bounce off the pitch. Well, they are appealing for a caught behind, and the umpire is unimpressed, and so is the batter. The batter says, "What are you appealing at?" Well, there appeared to be quite a bit of a gap between the bat and the ball, though, and even I would say, not sure what they're exactly appealing for. Nonetheless, another dot delivery for Shalin Gupta, and 120 is where they are stuck at the moment. Well, a couple of deliveries left, and Deepan really needs to connect the next two. Well, the first job is to connect the first one. It's the slower one, and it's in the air, and it's gone right through. The fielder couldn't quite stop it, and he gets the boundary. Deepan. Well, he read the slow one quite early and didn't quite let that affect his drive right off the middle of the bat and just past the fielder, though. So now the last delivery of the innings coming up. Well, Deepan has to go for the big swing. Shalin Gupta, none for 27 is 3.5. Thick inside edge, and that's gone away to the boundary too. Fortuitous. Does not matter how do they come. They've got 8 runs of the last 2 deliveries, and the JBC and Avengers, well, they have posted 128 for 7. They will not be happy at all, especially after the start in the first 6 when they were 47 without a wicket. An excellent performance with the ball by the Rising Stars, and the target will be 129 to get into the final of the JFSC 40 plus tournament, and we will be back for the chase in a short while from now. Well, back here for the chase and 20 without a wicket, the Rising Stars. They are off to a flyer here. 109 more required. They already need less than a 6 and over. Less than a runner ball, I should say. 109 from 113. Can't really afford to give away those kinds of overs, the JVC and Avengers. This time through the leg side. Once again in the gap. Excellent shot. And once again it is Shravan Shukla. And this time it's an appeal for a leg before wicket. It's been given. Well, struck right in front. It was swinging in, and you would feel that's an excellent decision given by the umpire, although the batter might refuse as much as he want. That's the first one gone, and just what they needed, the JBC and Avengers. Right then, in comes Deepak at number 3, pushed on the offside straight away. Well, another very good delivery. Well, this is exactly what they need here, the JBC and Avengers. A few tight overs, few things going in their way. And once again, it strikes the pad, but that time it was definitely pitching outside the leg stump, and they get across for a single. So at the end of the second, it is 25 for 1 for the Rising Stars. Well, we continue now in this third. Well, the JBC and Avengers, if they want to give themselves any chance, they will have to take all 10 wickets. And they need to keep on taking it on regular intervals. Well, still 102 required from 106 deliveries. They got 19 in the first, but ever since things have been slightly tighter. And they would be wanting to continue to keep it tight. Well, a direct hit. That is what they needed. The players are surrounding the umpire. Well, they need wickets after wickets, and they are desperate out here, the JBC and Avengers. Still two more deliveries left in this over, and Karthik has been bowling superbly. And another in swinger. My word, what a delivery that is! A perfect in swinging delivery onto the top of off. And they've got the second wicket here, the JBC and Avengers, and keeping themselves very much alive. Have a look at that, an absolute jaffa. Well, Harsh Dubal is coming here at number 4, and he bowls a wide delivery as Karthik. First up. Well, exactly 100 more required from here on. 100 from 103 deliveries. Well, still very much in control here, the Rising Stars, but these couple of wickets have maybe shaken their confidence a bit, you would feel. And it's not going to be that easy. Meanwhile, what a shot. That is pure class by Harsh Dubal. A boundary to close out the third. And it is 33 for 2 now at the end of the third over. Once again, it struck the pad, and this time the umpire is not interested. Well, they've been superb out here. Raj has got the early breakthrough, and he's just turned the complexion of the game out here. You would feel every single delivery, it feels as if they are about to take a wicket. Deepak Salwa, the man on strike at the moment, he is off the mark. He has that one run under his belt. Raj continuing to come over the wicket with those in swingers. Meanwhile, up in the air, another chance. He has to take it. He needs to take it, and he's taken it. Third one down for the Rising Stars. And we have a game on here in the semi-final for sure now. Well, going for the big one, wanting to make the full use of the power play. And in the process, they've lost 3 wickets now, the Rising Stars. And are now finding themselves in a spot of bother. And is that another one? My word, how close was that to the stump? That's gone right through everybody. And Ishan, well, is he off the mark? Is that given as runs off the bat? Excellent piece of bowling by Raj, and how unfortunate is he? It's gone right through everybody. Well, appeal after appeal now as they search for wicket number 4 inside this power play, the JBC and Avengers. This is absolutely brilliant. One other excellent delivery to close it out. That is the end of the 4th over with the score at 37 for 3. Well, a boundary to start off this fifth over, and well, once again, these boundaries just shift the momentum out here. Well, they got another one. In the end, that's four gone. And in total catastrophe out here, the Rising Stars, they are losing wickets after wickets every single over. And the JBC and Avengers, this is absolutely brilliant by them. They have somehow kept themselves in this game. And now they need to rethink about certain things out here. What a delivery once again, right underneath the bat. And castled once again. Well, 42 for 4 now, and Karthik, he's taken a couple of wickets. He's bowled superbly well. He is swinging the ball both the ways. A couple of wickets on both the occasions. He has hit the timber. Ishan at the moment yet to get off the mark. On strike now, and this time driven. A sweet sound of the bat has gone through the fielder. Rayad Merchant out there couldn't quite stop it. And another boundary for the Rising Stars. Well, it seems like they're not going to be faced by the wickets that are fallen. They are wanting to continue to play the shots. And they are in a hurry to finish this off as well in this semi-final of the 40 plus JFSC tournament. Meanwhile, one more delivery left in this fifth over. Well, how does Karthik respond to that? Well, they have taken wickets at regular intervals, the JBC and Avengers. And this time behind square, past the fielder at fine leg, back-to-back boundaries for Ishan. And that will also bring up the 50 for the Rising Stars. 50 for 4 at the end of the fifth. Still one more over left in the power play. And well, if wickets are coming, even the runs are coming by quite comfortably. Alright, then Raj is going to continue now in the last over of the power play, and why shouldn't he? 2 for 5 in his 2 overs, and this time a slower one, just punched off the back foot by Parag. Well, we are in here for a cracker. It's either 79 runs or 6 wickets. It's a total shootout. It does not seem like we are going to head into the 20th over of the game. The batters trying to get those boundaries with those short boundaries, and the bowlers, they have been getting some purchase of the surface. This time played down the ground and towards the fielder at long on. They take that single. This time pushed on the offside and a single taken. Well, just the two singles in the first three deliveries of this last over of the power play. It seems like they are taking a step backwards now. The Rising Stars trying to build a partnership here. Well, this time wanting to play that one through the leg side, and he's missed out. Well, this time driven, and what a good shot. Superbly placed in the gap, and a boundary. Another boundary, well, that has brought the target down to just 73 more required. But have a look at the technique on that shot. Absolutely superb. And the runs, well, even after those wickets falling, they have been flowing out here. 56 at the moment, just 73 more required with 6 wickets in hand. Meanwhile, the last delivery of the power play coming up. Just the two fielders outside the inner ring. There is a sweeper on the offside and a long on. Well, if it's an area that Parag would be eyeing, it could be the leg side between the fine leg and the square leg fielder, and he's played it in front of the square leg fielder, and that will run away to the fence once again. Big gap between the long on and the square leg fielder, and another boundary, back-to-back boundaries to close out the power play. It is 60 for 4 after the first 6, and they are cruising at the stage even after losing those wickets. Well, Karthik is going to continue now. 2 for 19 for him in his first 2 overs. Starts off with a dot delivery. Well, 69 required from 83. The asking rate has gone below 5. Would you believe it? Just 4.99. They are going at 10 runs and over. They have absolutely creamed the ball around in the first 6, even after losing those wickets. And now pushed on the offside will straight to the fielder, and a slight fumble will allow them to make it quite comfortably. Well, once again hit hard through the offside, and once again in the gap. A cracking shot once again by Parag. He loves that area, doesn't he? The extra cover region. A beautiful cover drive once again. And it seems like he is out there in the mood to finish it off quickly. They want to get through to that final and start the party pretty soon. The Rising Stars. And that will be another boundary, this time through the leg side. This time towards that square leg region. And it's raining boundaries off the bat of Parag all of a sudden. Banged in shot and pulled away. Well, Parag is having a strike rate of 200 at the moment, 18 of 9. And has he found the outside edge? Has that carried to the wicketkeeper? Well, the umpire wants to check if it has carried. Well, the wicketkeeper is already celebrating. The umpires will converge and have a discussion. Well, he has found the edge. The umpire has acknowledged that. But will the leg umpire give the confirmation that it has carried? Well, he says he is not quite sure. And in the end, it seems like it is given out. Yes, it is. Well, that's the half the side lost, and once again a timely wicket. Parag this time departs, who was milking the ball around, scoring boundaries for fun. And is there another twist in this now? 69 for 5 in the 7th over, and that's the third wicket for Karthik. Well, Dilesh has come in, and that's excellent piece of fielding. Well, who would say that they are 40 plus? They are going at least 10 years younger at this stage of the game. Well, both sides are still fighting out here. It's 70 for 5 now at the end of the 7th. 59 more needed with 5 wickets remaining. Well, another big appeal, and the umpire is unmoved. Well, they were pretty much convinced out there. Sorish, the man, continuing in this 8th over. That one looks very close, but maybe just down the leg side. Well, he was on the back foot though. Very difficult for the umpire to give that as out. Meanwhile, wides, bonus runs. Well, it won't quite find the fence. And for a moment, the batter was ball watching, so only a couple of runs is what they get. They could have definitely come back for the second. Nonetheless, Ishan is back on strike, who is at the moment on 10 of 9 deliveries. And that's a wide outside the off stump. Well, Ishan has gone for the big one. My word, what a hit that is towards that cow corner region. Brilliant ball strike. Playing with the spin. And now they need exactly 50 more. Well, this is a pretty odd type of a chase. This is not really what you see quite often. 50 required from 76. Well, 76 balls is not the equation out here. It's either 5 wickets or 50 runs. Well, what a game it would have been had the JBC and Avengers scored somewhere at least around 150. Meanwhile, still, it's slightly in the favor of the batting side at the moment, the Rising Stars, but the JBC and Avengers, they are searching for another wicket. If they get one more now, can they get the wicket, the big wicket, the priceless wicket of Ishan out here? And that will be another wide. So some bonus runs for the Rising Stars, and they need less than 50 now, just 49 more required. Well, that was good piece of fielding of his own bowling. And once again through the offside, and this time the fielder does well. Gets across and stops it. And once again in the air, and that's a mighty hit, going down on one knee and taking 6 more priceless runs to put the dagger in the hearts of the JBC and Avengers. Just 42 more needed, and things are looking very bleak out here for the JBC and Avengers once again. Well, they need wickets. They need to continue to try and take those wickets. They need the premium bowlers to continue. 87 for 5 now after 8. Well, another change in the bowling. It's Alap continuing here. And once again, just pushed on the offside for a single. Well, Dilesh is on strike now, who is on 7 of 3 deliveries. He hit that big 6 towards the deep mid-wicket region in the previous over. He enjoys batting against the spin, but now he's up against the medium pacer, Alap. And he's driven it, and it's gone through the fielder, past the fielder. That will run away. The outfield is quick, And now just 37 more needed, inching closer and closer. What a nice little partnership this has been between the two. Well, they were struggling at one stage, 50 for 5, and all of a sudden these two have added some quick runs and really snatched the game away from the JBC and Avengers once again. Once again drives and once again past the fielder, once again for a boundary. Well, Rayad Merchant, the guilty party on that occasion again. And it's back-to-back boundaries. Dilesh has turned the heat on. Well, now they need a moment where they get a couple of wickets in a couple of deliveries here, the JBC and Avengers. They desperately need one. Once again in the air, this could be a chance. Karthik underneath. Well, he's taken it, but he has crossed the rope. It's gone away for a maximum. Well, not quite aware of where he was standing exactly. Oh, that is so heartbreaking for Karthik and the JBC and Avengers. Well, that 6 brings up the 100 for the Rising Stars. 102 for 5 now, and they're now just 27 away. Have a look at the timeline of this over. Single by Ishan, and then Dilesh on strike. 4, 4, 6. In a hurry to finish it off. Well, another cracking shot, another boundary for Dilesh. He is dealing in boundaries at the moment. This is absolutely brilliant by him. Well, at the moment, they are going at more than 11 runs and over. Close to 12 now. Well, in fact, it's exactly 12 runs and over. And Dilesh, my word, he's taken the game away from the opposition in this over itself. Another maximum. That's gone a long, long way. It's out of the stadium. Well, out of the ground, I should say. But this is brilliant batting, brilliant ball striking by Dilesh. My word, excellent ball striking. And that one over that they have given to Alap has proved to be extremely costly out here for the JBC and Avengers. 25 runs come off it in the end. 3 fours and 2 sixes. And that single by Ishan, of course, who is back on strike. Well, just 17 more needed. And you would feel that they would be wanting to finish it off in this over itself. Well, once again in the air, chance and taken. Well, once again, is there a twist in this one? Well, Ishan wanting to finish it off quickly, loses his wicket, and that is wicket number 6. Still 4 more good deliveries can do the job out there for them. Well, they are thinking just 3 more hits. But even the JBC and Avengers can think about 4 good deliveries and 4 maybe magical moments by anyone out there in the field. 112 for 6. Well, in comes Ajit Nair at number 8. Well, big appeal once again, and they are pleading for it. Well, the umpire's finger will not be raised. Well, he is coming around the wicket. It is very difficult for the umpire to give that one out. Maybe just pitching outside the leg stump, but it is definitely by millimeters. Once again, very close. Well, they are thinking 4 more wickets, the JBC and Avengers. Meanwhile, Dilesh is back on strike, who has just turned the game around in the last 5 deliveries that he's faced. Well, this time wanting to guide it past the fielder at fine leg. Well, what we saw in the previous over was something immaculate, especially that last hit which went out of the ground. Well, it is into the parking lot on the opposite side of the road. That is how far that went. Nonetheless, 16 more needed and 3 more deliveries left in this 10th over. And Dilesh drives, but this time there is protection out there, and Ryan Merchant will collect that one. Well, 15 more needed. Ajit Nair on strike. And once again, an excellent delivery this by Akhil. He is doing a very good job out here with the ball. Once again, bowling it into the right-hander. Well, that is now the end of the 10th over. It's 114 for 6, 15 more needed in the last 10 overs, and the umpires have called for drinks. Right then, Deepan continuing, and once again a colossal hit by Dilesh, dealing in maximums. Another one for him, and now they need in single digits out here. Well, this has been an outstanding innings. 38 of just 11, and now he respects the good delivery. That's absolutely superb by Dilesh, showing a lot of character out there. Well, now they need less than one run and over. 9 required from 58 deliveries. Once again, just pushed back at the bowler. And now he drives through the offside. Another single taken. Well, just 8 more needed, and Ajit Nair is now on strike. It seems like it will eventually go on to the 12th over. Well, with Dilesh out there, he must have been thinking to wanting to finish it off quickly. Well, definitely a shout out for the champion super striker of the game. Well, Ajit Nair, surprisingly enough, defends that one. Just taking his time out there. He is yet to get off the mark. And now wanting to cut that one away, and Dilesh has refused the single. He wants to take the strike for the next over. It is 121 for 6 after 11. All right, then just 8 more required, and Dilesh is on strike. And a thick outside edge. This could be a chance, and he's taken it. Now then, is there a twist in this one? Well, that's the wicket that they were searching for. Well, they have still another 8 runs to play with, and well, just 3 more wickets needed. Can they get another one in this over? 7 gone. It's 121 for 7 for the Rising Stars. Well, an outstanding innings by Dilesh coming to an end. 3 sixes, 3 fours. He's entertained us, and he's gone back to the pavilion, not quite able to finish it off. Well, once again, bowled quicker now. Well, the new man in is Hiren and Akhil. Well, can he get another one here? Can he? Another wicket here will make things extremely interesting once again. It's all happening out here, but that's a low full toss, and it's been dispatched by Hiren. Well, he's not going to be faced by that, and now just a couple of runs required. Well, once again, when you start to feel that the JBC and Avengers, they are getting themselves back into the game, something like that happens. A big hit to get their side within touching distance. And now just a hit away. Well, Akhil now, he has 3 deliveries left in this over. He needs to take a hat trick for his side. That's basically it. That is what he has to do. And Hiren would be wanting to finish it off quickly. Well, the field is now coming in to try and stop the single. And I'm not entirely sure if Hiren would be wanting to take the single. He's played that one down the ground. The long off fielder gets across, but not quite able to stop it. And those are the winning runs. The Rising Stars have done it. They have won this game with 3 wickets to spare. And a plenty of deliveries in the end left out. 50 of those. They have chased it down in just 11.4 overs. And that was thorough entertainment out here by the Rising Stars, who get themselves home and get themselves into the final of the 40 plus tournament in JFSE. A brilliant game of cricket. Well, they were well short. The JBC and Avengers, they were at least 25 to 30 runs short of where they should have been. And the Rising Stars, well, they've just kept on smashing the ball around and got themselves home quite comfortably in the end. Well, it did become a bit nerve-wracking when they lost those 5 wickets early on in the first 6 itself. But excellent batting by Dilesh has got them home quite comfortably. Well, that was it from this game in the JFSC 40 plus tournament, and we'll be back very soon with another one. Until then, goodbye.